Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Thursday night, which means it is Spirit Quest. Miles, Jerry, welcome to the show. Lovely to see you. You are the very first person here tonight, so get in you. Let me just bring that background music down just a tiny smidge as we wait for everybody else to come and join us. So here we are. Thursday night means Spirit Quest Live. First and foremost, as to everybody who will be listening through the airwaves, of course, we're coming to you live on 105.3 to 107.7 FM, coming to UPRN Talk Radio from the very beautiful New Orleans. Welcome, everybody in New Orleans and surrounding districts. I do hope you're having a fantastic day. This is Paul Francis, your host, and you are joining Spirit Quest. You can join me live on YouTube. Go to YouTube and literally in the search bar, type in just at the top in the the little search bar area, type Paul Francis Medium. Boom, take you straight to the show. Off you go, dead easy. Shazni Harris has joined us. Shazni, good evening. Miles. I don't know if it was Jerry or Jerry Miles. If Jerry and Shazni, if you guys come out of Facebook and go into YouTube, it's a lot more stable. Okay, so zip across into YouTube and come and join me there. Alrighty. Julie Sharp and Kathy Hanley Little has joined us. Lovely to see you both. Julie and Kathy, welcome. Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, you all, make sure you share the show. Get it out there with your friends and family, especially your groups, and ask them to come and join us here live on the show tonight. So, Shazni, if you zip out, go into YouTube, in the search bar, type Paul Francis Medium, and it'll bring you straight back to the show. And then when you come back, subscribe, click the little bell icon, and that will give you a reminder every time. Basically, you give you a heads up. I don't think you actually have to have a YouTube account. I'm not sure. Have a go. If you can't, you can always come back. Dawn Hatton, lovely to see you. Welcome to the show, my darling. As always, it's wonderful. Jerry, Jerry, if you zip across to YouTube as well. Basically, it is Facebook is now doing using a system called AI, and it's just getting so more and more unstable. And you literally can't say anything at all without it being taken wrong. And it's the AI that's doing it. So we've moved across to YouTube, and we're building up the YouTube following. And it seems to be far more stable. Shazni, a YouTube account is free anyway, my darling. All you need is basically the same systems as you have for Facebook. Just literally just an email address. Off you go. So Lynn Fern says, "Good evening, Mr. Francis, sir. Mr. Francis, sir. Sir Paul Francis. No." Alison Lousy and Trudy Hall, Joe Hernandez, welcome one and all. Welcome one and all. Alison, come on, you should know the score. And I zoom across to YouTube, come in there. Trudy, come into YouTube, my darling. Lovely to see you. And Trudy, I hope you're feeling better, my angel. I hope that the dentist hasn't left his indelible mark and you're feeling a lot better. As I said, you're listening to Spirit Quest tonight, the journey of life, and that's what it's all about. Basically, it's all about you, not me. You. The journey of life is a discussion. Trudy has a question. Hit me. Oh, I don't mean physically hit me. Hit me with a rhythm stick. Trudy, tell me what you want. Coming out after tonight's show, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stick around for the Outer Limits with the beautiful Michelle and Amelia. Michelle and Amelia, great, wonderful people, and their show's magnificent. Now there's a whole slew of great shows on UPRN Talk Radio. Make sure you have a look out for those as well. How can a tooth that's no longer there still hurt? So, Trudy, sending you all our love, and we know you had. Do you know what? I don't think they should be called dentists. I think they should be called sadomasochists, because people, pay sadomasochists to slap them around and stuff. and we pay dentists to inflict pain. There's a funny theme running through that. So, Trudy, make sure that you do everything they say. Make sure you, I don't know if you do the water thing, the salt water thing, and wash out your gob and take painkillers and keep warm. But whatever they tell you to do, young lady, because I know you're a bit of a, oh, we'll do it later kind of a person. So do what you're told. That way you won't get any infections and it won't get any worse. So tonight's show, you guys get to choose the topics, but I do want to talk about a particular topic as well. You've got me for the next, well, actually I was going to say 90 minutes, but it's about 80 odd minutes now. So yes, that. It's true, dear. Listen, we're only looking out for you, girl. Make sure you're healthy. Do what they tell you. Look after yourself. So I do want to talk about, I want to ask you guys a question. What do you deem are the principles and the concepts that you would call a good medium? All right, a good psychic or good psychic medium. All right. You do know the concept that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. We'll talk about that if you like as well. Can you imagine walking in the dentist and see him in a black PVC? No, I can't actually. I do my utmost not to go to the dentist. So I can't imagine. But then again, think about the lines. We pay them to inflict pain. It's just weird. Chesney says, "Hey, I'm on here, and I see Ches. You got it sorted." Don't forget now, Chesney. Now that you come across on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, and a little bell icon will come up, and you click that. Now, what'll happen is every time we release a show, you'll be told about it in advance, and there'll be a show next Monday night. Yes, next Monday night. I was thinking about it because it's Easter weekend, whether there's going to be a show or not, but I'm pretty confident there is. So it's Easter this weekend as well. So Good Friday tomorrow and Easter Saturday and Sunday. So in advance, I'm going to wish you all a fantastic weekend. Gary, you're here. Welcome. Thanks very much for being here. I can see you're on YouTube. And don't forget now, Gary, while you're there, Gary and Kathy, while you're there, don't forget, click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button. Click the like button. The like's important. And don't forget to click the little bell icon so you guys will all be notified every time we have a new show coming out. So, Kathy Handy says, what's the difference between a medium and a psychic? Right. I was quickly rattling through my brain there for a very smart arse remark, comedic remark. Because people introduce me as a medium and I'm saying, well, I'm kind of more a bit of a large now, but that joke's now worn out completely. Well, the difference between a psychic and a medium is that now there's two ways of describing it. A psychic works with all energies pertaining to here, and a medium deals with energies pertaining to there. So basically, the other way to look at it is if you are looking at the chakra concept, so from the root chakra, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So all the way up to blue, communication chakra, blue. From blue down, you deal with psychic energy. From blue up, you deal with spiritual energy. So all psychics deal from here down and talk about feeling and getting energy from this and feeling that, and tarot cards and angel cards and so on and so forth. Whereas mediums will deal with, they're telling me this, they're making me feel that. They will refer to them as they, so the energies that they're dealing with. So the old concept and the truth of it is that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. And that's how that works out. Hopefully that helps you out. And not all psychics are mediums at all. Some psychics who are working and practicing psychics can flitter into the medium world from time to time and give good results. Nothing wrong with that. But they're not, say, practicing mediums, which is different. Whereas I'm a practicing medium psychic. I'm a psychic medium. So I practice and work with all aspects. Basically, think of all the senses. So think of and then you get the sixth sense. Okay, so I use all the senses and the sixth sense upstairs. Alison Turnbull has joined us. Alison, welcome. Lovely to see you. Not the best time to be allergic to chocolate, says Trudy. Nah, wouldn't be. Not if you're not coming up to this wonderful weekend. I do hope you're not allergic to chocolate. Alison Turnbull, you're on watching us on Facebook. Could I invite you, please, to be so kind as to come off Facebook, go onto YouTube, alrighty? And in YouTube, at the top of the search bar, type Paul Francis Medium, and that will take you straight back to the show, okay? And it's just that YouTube is a far more stable platform to watch the show, and it's easier to interact with me and everybody else. And when you come onto YouTube, Alison, click on subscribe. Click the like button, okay? Smash that like button. And don't forget to click the little bell icon, because what happens when you click the bell icon is every time we do a show, be it Spirit Quest or Reach Across or something, anything like that, you'll be notified of it. If I release any new videos, you'll be notified of those as well. And there are some Zoomers coming up, and I'll be talking about those next week. So let's have a look. Gary Mills says, hope you're drawn to me tonight. Kathy Hanley says, thanks, Paul. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that wonderful person? Says makes sense. Whoever that wonderful person is makes sense. Is I don't know who you are. So come off Facebook into YouTube, top of the bar, Paul Francis Medium. It'll bring you straight back to the show, and then we'll be able to see who you are. Right, Wendy Watson from Australia. G'day, Wendy. Welcome to the show. Once again, could I invite all you guys who are watching me on Facebook tonight, come out of Facebook and join me on YouTube. It's much easier. Alrighty. So come out of Facebook, go into YouTube, type in the search bar at the top, Paul Francis Medium. It'll bring you straight back to the show, and it's a far more stable platform. Okay. And when you're there, subscribe, like the channel, like the video, of course, and click the little bell icon. Goplang Makadi, what a beautiful name. Goplang Makadi is watching from South Africa. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for watching from South Africa. Okay, Wendy Watson would love a message if drawn to me, please. Vatrina Fude, what a beautiful name. Good, Vatrina Fude. Vatrina, welcome to the show. Lovely to see you. I feel good mediums. I'll just bring Kathy Hanley up the top here. Anne-Marie de Grey says, jumped off Facebook and now I'm here. Anne-Marie, phenomenal. Get in there, girl. Watching from Las Vegas. Anne-Marie, hi. Welcome to the show. Kathy says, I feel good medium is one that doesn't fish for information, one that just gives information on messages from spirits. Yes, absolutely. Now, one of the differences between a good medium and, shall we say, not so good medium is they'll ask you questions. However, sometimes it is important to ask questions. Let me give you, for instance, why. So say, for example, I'm delivering information to Kathy and I'm going blah, 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 blah. Then I'll say, so what does that mean to you? Now, the reason why I'll say that is, now, here's how you tell the difference between a good and bad medium. A good medium will deliver the information, then ask questions. A bad medium will ask questions straight from the get-go and try and fish for information. So the reason why I will say to you, what does that mean to you, is because some of that information could mean something to me. Like, for an example, pretty much 100% of the reads that I do, they will use I call it psychic shorthand. Basically, it's signs and symbolisms that they'll use. Now, the reason is for example, they'll show me a white flower. And if I see that white flower, I know they want to talk about a birthday and an anniversary. If they show me a red rose, they want me to pass down their love. If they show me a blue rose, they want me to talk about an up and coming birthday anniversary. So they'll use those things which are literally shorthand. But for example, they may say to me, yellow rose, which means to me health. And a yellow rose might mean something completely different to you. So I will say, so what does that mean to you? To make sure that the information is being given in the right way. But it'll be after I've delivered the information or the message to you. All right. So but it is, you can't, there's a lot of bad mediums out there. Well, they're not psychic mediums. They're just bad people. And a lot of them try and jump on these shows here. You've seen them come into these shows many times to say, oh, contact me here and I will give you a reading. And they're not. They're just trying to get into your bank account to empty it. So Anne-Marie's watching us from Las Vegas. Now, we were talking about a tour. We were talking to one of the tour directors for the United States for me, for hopefully for October, and we were talking about possible venues. And all I know for absolutely certain is I'm going to fly into New York. I'll be doing some shows in New York. Then I'll be going to Canada briefly for a day or two. And then from Canada, I don't know where I'm going after that. But the final leg of the tour in the United States is going to be in Florida. I know that. But I did hear the word Vegas being mentioned. So they say to me, right, here's a bunch of places, or here's a bunch of states or cities. We're considering which ones do you want, which ones do you not want. And I'm like, I want New York and I want Florida for definite, because that's where I want to start and that's where I want to finish. I definitely want to go to Canada briefly, just as a kind of a quick visit, and then do what we're going to do is refer to as the 10 and 10 tour. So 10 states in the 10th month. But I did hear Vegas being talked about, so that was quite cool. I'm going to check you out on YouTube right now. I much prefer YouTube, says Vitrina. Yes, come in there. That's it. Wow, your pronunciation of my name is very good. A lot of people struggle it. Thank you so much. A lot of people get mine wrong as well. A lot of people spell mine wrong. A lot of people spell it with CES, and that's the female of Francis. The male is Francis, is CIS. So Vitrina says, find you easy. There you go. You're straight in there, Vitrina. When you're there, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Please click on the little bell icon. And don't forget to smash the like button. But every time we release a show now, Vitrina, you'll be told in advance where we're coming out. Gopalang Makati, if you can come out of Facebook and go into YouTube too, that'll be cool. So basically the whole concept of that is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up talking about that was I had a person send me, well, actually funny, it's weird how things move around and how they link. And I had been writing, I'm writing a new book, and the new book is called Walking with the Light. And I was writing a big piece about psychic and mediums and how my introduction to psychics were, and who I used to, the psychics and mediums I used to hang out with, and the kind of stuff that we learned from each other, and so on and so forth. And the whole, the people who teach, and how they in themselves are very, very special people, because being able to teach what I refer to as personal development is it's very, very difficult, because it's really difficult, because you cannot force a person to work in a specific way. There are no two mediums in this world that are the same. No, There are no two mediums that work the same. Oddly enough, I work very, very similar to John Edward. He works very, very similar to me. We have differences, but we work very similar. And he's a little bit too serious. I love him to bits. I think he's an amazing guy. I hold him in high, high, high esteem, but I think he's a wee bit too serious. Whereas I'm much more comedic and so on and so forth. But my point here is when I'm doing seminars, when I'm teaching, I teach the tools. And the teacher that I was first brought to, I knew she was the right teacher for me when she sat me down away from everybody else. She says, Paul, I will teach you everything I know. However, not everything I know will sit right with you. Don't worry about that. And I knew right then and there that she was the right teacher for me. So when I'm teaching, for example, I will then sort of say, right, okay, here's how this works. Okay, so I'll introduce you to, first and foremost, is meditation. That's the primary route. You don't bother. Meditation's number one. Meditation and protection. Okay, then meeting your guides, meeting your gatekeeper, your sacred place. That's all the primary. That's the beginning of self-development. And then we go from meeting the guides into the other guides and why they're there, what they do, why they're going to work with you, how they're going to work with you, how you're going to interact with them, how you can make that interaction much more fluent and much more usable to make your life easier. So when your guides are talking to you, you can get that information flowing. So my very first seminar coming up very shortly is Meet Your Guides. It'll be on that. But I will not say you will do it this way. Okay. There will be certain elements I will say, listen, here's a good way of practicing this. You might find it easier to practice that. Or let me give you some of my symbols if they make your life easier. But I will not say you will work that way, because there are no two mediums the same. Okay. So when I do see these other places where they like force you will work this way, I know those are not good. Those are not good people, or not good teachers. Maybe it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad people. But let's have a look as we're coming down here. Katrina says, I find you easily. So who we got here? Right. So I can't figure out how to watch your live on YouTube. Do you have two different accounts? No, go on, just go into your own YouTube account. And then when you open up YouTube, YouTube will open up like as it does. And at the top, there's a search bar, in the little, whoever you want to watch. And you just type in my name, Paul Francis Medium, and it will take you straight to this show. Okay. Amanda Wardson. Hi, Amanda. How are you? Lovely to see you. Wendy's just worked out YouTube. Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, Anne-Marie de Grace. What part of Florida? I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. I'm definitely. Well, I'll tell you why. I'm not sure, but at the end of the tour, I'm going to be spending a couple of weeks in Orlando. That's for sure. So I don't know whether it'll be another area within Florida. Most likely will be, but I don't know yet. I rely on the people in America. They know it better than I do. So they'll say, listen, I think it's probably a better idea we go here and here. You'll have a better time. Okay, we'll do what you say. So I don't know. I just know that the people of America are very receptive to what I do, probably because I'm Irish. But they're very open, and it's I the shows and the events that I've done that have American people involved have always been phenomenal. So Katrina says, you did get my first name pretty well. Most people struggle with that. Last name, Faudrey. Is it Faudrey? Faudrey? It looks like Faudrey. I could be wrong. Trudy says, I can never remember how to spell your last name, and I've known you for 36 years. Oh, okay. And Trudy, why are you still on Facebook? I live in New York, says Katrina. I live in New York State, about 6 to 7 hours north of New York City. About 30 minutes drive from the Canadian border. Right. So you're definitely going to get me one way or the other. You're going to get me either when I'm doing my shows in New York, or you can clip over the border there and watch whatever. I'm going to do a couple of shows, maybe a Friday and a Saturday in Canada, in one of the big cities close to the American border. I've had a lot of people asking me to come over to Canada, and I think the best thing to do is do an initial pop in, couple of shows, then carry on with the tour, and then in 2024 do a direct tour in Canada. That's probably the best way. Wendy says, "Hi, I've just moved into a new house and believe that there is a spirit here. Would love to know how. Let's start it again. Would love to know if you can pick up anything and pick anything. Well, listen, Wendy, if you've moved into a house and you believe there's a spirit, it's very likely the case because you're probably picking up the energy anyway. But first and foremost, it's going to be symbiotic. In other words, you're moving into that wonderful spirit's area and energy, okay, and they're going to be sharing your area and energy. So symbiotic, and it's a really, really good idea to initialize some sort of conduct. Okay, basically, when I lived in our old house, I used to say things like, and I lived in a 350-year-old house. I used to say things like, "Okay, guys, I know you're all here. You're very welcome. However, here's the ground rules. This is my space now, and you are more than welcome. This was your space in your time. Please feel free to use the energies at will. However, as long as they do not outlay a complete sort of outline of what they can and what they can't do." So Wendy, I would do that. Usually when you move into a house and you're picking up energies, it is an energy that's located or as part of the area, not necessarily the house. A lot of people go, "Oh, well, my house is only built in such and such and such a time." It doesn't matter. The area is still a lot older, isn't it? Of course. In my house previous to this one, I used to see people walking through my front door, right through my corridor, and out through my back wall. And I used to think, what the heck is that going on here? And I'd literally see them walking up and down past each other like that, like, passing each other in an airport terminal like that. And until I did a little bit of research, and I found out that the area, or that the house, was built right across the pathway where people would go to market. So literally what was happening was ghosts were walking up and down, and they would happen whether I'm there or not. So I loved it. Did I see somebody asking me about ghosts and spirits just there a minute ago? Let me get a second. So let me finish off with Wendy first. There are two while I'm on the ghost and spirits thing, and my head went to ghosts and spirits. So two things, Wendy, is if you've got an old house, you can please sort of update me whether you've got an old or new house. If you've got an old house, you will likely encounter ghosts. Now, what a ghost or ghost energy is literally just a caption of time. It's a replay of time. Do not worry about that, okay? Because it won't interact. You'll interact with it because you'll go, "Oh, God," It won't interact with you because it'll just carry on going, because it's just literally, imagine going right back to the 80s. It's only videotape playing, and it'll just continue to play on a loop. Spirits will react to you and interact with you. That's the difference between ghosts and spirits. But as I'm looking at your picture, I'm not picking up anything you need to worry about. I really don't. What I am picking up is an energy of like a dog, maybe something like a big golden retriever, a big golden Labrador, something like that. I'm picking up a dog like that around you, if that helps. Anyway, thank you for your question. That's very kind of you. I did see, oh, there we go. Carol Fitzgerald. I did see, I knew I saw that. Carol says, Carol Fitzgerald Horton, double barrel shotgun names. I love them. Paul, what is the difference between a ghost and our loved ones on the other side? Well, ghosts and spirit energies. Well, like I was just mentioning a second ago with Wendy, a ghost is literally a caption of time, and it's connected to the ether of the area, not necessarily the house. Although, a lot of people see ghosts related to houses. The older the house, the more the houses would have been made of older materials like granite. Granite's an amazing conductor for energy. So a lot of ghosts and spirits are seen in the likes of older houses and castles because of the granite. The area will be a big conductor of energy as well, and a keeper of the energy. But you will interact with a ghost. It won't interact with you. It'll just literally as if you're not there. Okay, that's the difference. Your friends and family on the other side of life have a direct connection to you. Okay, they will want to fulfill that connection. Think of yourself, Carol. The best way to answer this question is think what's going to happen when you flip over to the other side. What are you going to want to do? So you're on the other side of life. You're now meeting up with all of the people that you've had to mourn in your time. So all of the people that have gone ahead of you, you're meeting up with them. So it's party time, big style. But then you're looking back at your friends, family here, alrighty, and they're mourning your loss. So what are you going to want to do? Shall I answer for you? You're going to want to react with them. You're going to want to interact with them, okay? And that's where we get, and I mean this with utmost respect, okay? We get a lot of these. I've watched a lot of these shows that are so off the mark, it's untrue. I mean, so off the mark. It's scarily bad. Oh my God, you have a poltergeist. No, you don't. Oh my God, you got evil energies. No, you don't. Oh my God, you got a demon. No, you don't. Sometimes it's just an energy trying to get your attention. And because it'll bang things, bang doors, open doors, rattle cutlery, it's doing whatever it can to get your attention. Does not mean it has any way close to negativity connected to it in any way, shape, or form. But because of these ghost hunter shows, they have to sensationalize it, or I call it, they got a movie make it, the Hollywood concepts. They've got to make it look like sensationalized, so the tiniest little thing. Oh my God, did you see that? And everybody goes, what? Otherwise, you'd just get bored watching the shows, wouldn't you? But the difference between a ghost and a spirit is interactive. A ghost isn't. So that took a long way to go right around to get that. So Trudy says, I can never. Oh, we've seen that. I read that. Righty, I've just moved into a new house. Seen that one as well from Wendy. I figured that I gotta have the app on my phone. There you go, Alison. Well done, you. Everybody on Facebook tonight, please go across to YouTube. But everybody who's on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the show. Please subscribe to the show. Hit the little bell icon, because that'll tell you when we're releasing new shows. And don't forget to smash the like button. Then share the show with all your pals. Okay, here's the deal. I'm doing a deal at the moment. Anybody out there who brings in 5 or more people will be put into a little pile, and you will receive, if you get drawn out of that little pile, I will give you a 30-minute session with me free of charge. So if you go out there and get 5 people to subscribe to the show, come in and join us and be part of our lovely family that's growing here, then you could win yourself a free 30-minute session with me, free of charge, all on me. Make it happen. Gopalang is Gopalang. Is it Gopalang or Gopalang? She's here now, but it's good to see you. Thank you for coming into YouTube. Hey, Faye's in the house. Faye's in the house. Faye, I did see quickly. I was just coming into the studio, and something flicked up on my cell phone to say that you'd sent me an email. But I'll have a look at it. I'll maybe get a chance to see it tomorrow. Most likely won't get a chance to see it tonight. It's good to see you. Roger's going to join in shortly, which is fantastic. Roger is in the house. Senior. Roger Senior's in the house. Roger, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. How is things in your neck of the woods? Is it all gone? Is all the snow gone? How do I get to comment on YouTube? It's exactly the same as commenting on Facebook. Exactly the same. You'll just see the chat room. It'll say chat area. Just click in there. Come to Pensacola, Florida. Do you know what? I would, because I've heard Pensacola, Florida is a good place for a lot of people that enjoy psychic and medium shows. So yeah, I will definitely look at that. Definitely. Let's have a look at what Patrina says. I'd probably be better at being a medium if I wasn't still working on overcoming trauma from the night my boyfriend died. Right. I tell you what, Patrina, why don't we look at that, okay? And the traumatic experience that you've gone through, where your dear partner, boyfriend passed over. Do you think? Okay, once again, I'm going to use a concept that I tend to use a lot, but it's a very real, very honest concept. So, Patrina, if I was to flip things over, so if I was to bring your boyfriend back, and I was to flip you into spirit, so I'm basically taking things and turning them upside down. Alrighty. So you're in spirit. He's here. Now he's now starting to go through all of the connotations that you went through. Sorry, I felt really weird in there. So he's starting to go through all of the connotations you went through. So he's going through all the negativity and the stress, and you're watching. How do you feel? So come on, Patrina, come back to me really quickly. So you're watching him now, and he's going through all of the stresses. He's carrying the guilt. He's carrying the worry and the pain. How do you feel? Face Trudy says, I love book face. You're nuts, girl. Are you on some sort of medication to keep that pain? That sort of. Kathy says, when you know your itinerary, will you post it? Oh gosh, yes. It'll be a massive, there'll be a massive marketing campaign, to say, right, okay, Paul Francis is going to be appearing here, and here, and here, and most likely be appearing in radio shows and blah blah blah. So yes, Kathy, that'll appear. I did a cleansing. I told him basically the same thing. Good, Wendy. Well done, you. Excellent. If you guys haven't had a copy of my book yet, go onto Amazon, type in Paul Francis, The Safe Way. And by the way, there's some other guy using my name. You'll know my books. Okay. The latest book, the book that I think you should look at is called The Safe Way Deluxe version. It's black. It's got my face on it. My books all have my face on it. This other guy using my name doesn't. So only go for the ones that has my face on it. It's black. It's got the Safe Way Deluxe version. Get yourself a copy of that, and that will teach you all about energy, and it will teach you how to cleanse and clear and work with energy and understand energy. And it's sold out on Amazon quite a few times, so a lot of people are using it. Yes, I'm seeing a shadow walking past the window. Okay, well, I can't imagine that wouldn't be. I can understand that. So they're kind of like checking you out. So you're new, you've moved in, and they're like, oh, "Who's this?" So they're just checking you out. A little bit of nosy spirit work going on there. Don't worry about it, Wendy. Trust me. My boyfriend died in the house we lived in. Stuff happened quite a lot at first, and then occasionally. I wish stuff would happen like that, even though I don't live there anymore. Well, Just because you don't live there, Katrina, doesn't mean he won't know where you are. He will. Now, so going back to what I said, imagine now you flipped over. How are you going to feel when you're watching? Okay, when you're watching and you're seeing him in pain and stress and worry and you know constantly in a state of mourning. Okay, how are you going to feel about that? Your boyfriend will know where you are and he will link into you no matter where you are. Okay, they don't have any geographical sort of, he's not tied to the house you guys used to live in. He's linked to you. It's the love that we have that binds us and keeps us connected when we go to spirit. So the love that you had for him, the love you had for your parents, your grandparents, etc. Those those are the bonds of love that tie and connect us still and keep us connected through until we meet them again. So don't worry about that. Gopolang says, "Is Sophia in love with me?" Do you know what? That I get that question a lot when people sit down in front of me. Is my boyfriend in love with me? Is my girlfriend love me? Does my husband love me? Does my wife love me? And do you know what my answer is? Ask them. Okay, ask them. The only way you will ever know in your mind, heart, and soul is by communication. Communication is the golden tool. It's the tool that you need. Alrighty. It's the just talk, interact, sit down, hold each other. If you've got any worries, get them out on the table. If you understand each other, you're in a position where you can build. If you have a misunderstanding, you're in a position where you can repair. Okay, but you can't do either of those things going through a psychic medium. Okay, and 99% of psychic mediums get that wrong. Okay, because they're looking at you, picking up energies around you, and you could have multiples of interacted with multiples of energies. So it's kind of like walking into spaghetti sometimes. But Kapolang, just sit down and ask them. Sit down, hold a hand, look into their eyes, and say, "Hey, I'm just feeling a bit weird about this. Can we have a chat?" That's the right thing to do. Alrighty, let's go on. Carol Fitzgerald says you're spot on. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so Katrina said my boyfriend had been taking a supplement for a few years and started hallucinating. And when he tried to, he attacked me before stabbing himself down the kitchen. I'm very sorry you went through that, my darling. And I'm pretty confident that first and foremost, when he crosses to the other side of life, he has no connection to any ailments, sicknesses, mental illnesses, or even physical pain. So he will see it from a different perspective. And I can guarantee you, after 35 years of working in this field of business, they are the first out of the gate to try and fix things. Alrighty? First out of the gate. Trudy's on I love it. I love it. Allison says, Pensacola is so beautiful and home to the Blue Angels. All right. Can you get me in there? I'll go for a ride with Blue Angels. You'd be welcome and would love to meet you in person. I absolutely would love it. I'm a huge aviation buff. A huge aviation buff. Faye says, I refer to both books, The Safe Way and The Little Book of Quick Wisdom. Often they're fantastic books to keep handy. Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. I really appreciate that. Kapolang is asking me the same question, even though I've responded. Catherine, hi. Hi there. How do you see my teaching? How do you see my teaching how to make fermented foods and gut health course from home? Is going in, and is my lovely son Sam around? He passed when he was 39 here in Ireland. in 2017, hasn't been around for weeks. Now, Catherine, first and foremost, um, in relation to courses, you will always find parts of courses that will fit and work exactly how you want them to, and you will find bits that won't. Um, it's like what I mentioned at the very, very beginning of the show. My teacher said to me, I will teach you everything that I know, but not everything I know will fit for you or sit with you. You'll find things your own way. Now, when you're working with, and I know there's a specific name, and for the life of me, it's gone blank. Herbology, is it? Or is herbology the study of snakes? I'm not sure, but when you're dealing with very specifics and recipes, the results tend to be, you know, a 99.9%, they're going to get the result that you're after. However, different people react different ways to different things. So you got to take that into it. So the course will be, you'll come out of the other end of it happy. That much I can guarantee you. Now, is your son around you? Absolutely. Alrighty. And now here's the good thing. You say he hasn't been around for a few weeks. That's actually a great thing. Okay. Our friends and family who cross over tend to be around us at the beginning because they're trying to help us with their crossing. They're trying to help us with their loss. So as we're going into the mourning process, which everybody should do, in my opinion, I believe that love is the other side of mourning. So you have love, we lose the person, you go into mourning as a mark of respect for the loss of that person, but don't stay in there. Come back out the other side. They don't want to see you sad, down, and in tears. Now, when you're making good headway, Catherine, and everybody else, of course, when you're making good headway and you're getting so that things are starting to work out in your favor and you're starting to go in the right direction, they'll pull back a little bit, then a little bit more, and a little bit more. It's kind of like training wheels to help you get on with your life. If they stick around and they're with you and you'll not move on. So the very fact that he's stepping back means that you're doing everything right. So it's actually a message to say, hey, you're doing everything right, and I'm very, very proud. Okay, so it's a really good thing. We got this person came on before, Stacey Murray Ass. No, I'm not being rude. Look, yeah, you got these idiots here. Look at that, Stacey Murray Ass. Do not send that person for a private, accurate reading because they're liars. Okay, so my advice to you is, please, everybody, report said person. What a name, Ass. Anyway, so reports that that idiot, basically. And if you be so kind is to make sure that they are blocked, because these are the kind of people that want to actually remove your funds from your bank. Ah, God, she's coming in here. Yeah, see, we got our very first friend of the night, Maria Spagfiore. Paul, are you going? Let's bring that up here. Paul, are you going to go live eating your Easter egg with no hands this year? Oh, do you remember that? We did that one year. Oh my goodness, that was many, many moons back. And we were having fun. We were having a bit of an Easter party on the show. And I put I put a little test out to everybody. And the whole idea was, right, you had to pick up a half, you got an Easter egg and it splits in half. And the idea was to try and eat the half of the egg without touching it with your hands. So you weren't allowed to set it down, you weren't allowed to touch it with your hands, and you had to try and eat the entire half of the egg. It was funny. We had so much fun. Everybody was laughing. Everybody's face was covered in chocolate. It was just fun. I do that sometimes. I do weird things like that. Reason being is this world that we live in has got so much stress, so much worry, so much hassle, so much negativity, so much sickness. so much violence, that we need to counter that with doing things that make us happy, that doing things that are fun, things that are off the cuff, things like that you used to do on a normal basis and you stopped doing for some reason. You know, go to the person you love, just say, hey, do you know what? Let's just scratch the day. Let's go to the beach. Let's go shopping. Let's go to the cinema. Let's go to a restaurant. Let's go do something together. And just do stuff like that. Counterbalance the negativity in your life with all the things that make you happy. All right? Because you got to bring balance in your life. And we do that kind of thing. We used to do weird things like that. On the old show, actually, I do remember that. I do remember that, Maria. It was such fun. So that's Stacey Murray ass is definitely one of those. So my advice is definitely not go there. Okay, that was really good fun. Gina is in the house. Gina, good evening. How are you? How wonderful to see you. And how things are going well. I do hope. Thanks for stopping in and staying high in the show. By the way, I'm still waiting on my invitation to your show. Actually, I should. You know what? I should actually invite you here. That's what I should do, really. And you should. Yeah, I should tell you what. Next week, let's get our heads together, and you come on my show, and I'll come on yours. So good to see you, though, my darling, and I do hope that you're looking forward to a fantastic Easter weekend coming up. I would have failed that one or died trying, says Trudy. Definitely. Julie Sharp says, Paul, can you tell me the meaning of a person in a long gold cloak hood up? I never see the face. I'm just confused why I keep seeing it. Well, in what respect are you seeing it, Jules? That's what I need to know. Okay, are you seeing it in a meditative state? Is this person coming into you as a guide? The thing about the gold cloak is just like I said before. What means something to me means something completely different to you and somebody else. Now, the gold cloak, as I see it, is a cloak of protection. Okay, so the gold cloak is something that I teach my students to surround themselves in gold and silver. So gold on the inside, silver on the outside. The reason being is the silver reflects away negative energies, negative people. The gold emulates, warms, strengthens, and heals. So there's reasons for that. Now, the only way I can answer it is if we find out in what perspective this person is appearing to you. Gina says next week is open. Let's get our heads together and make something happen. Let's get our heads together. Allison says, I agree. I love it when people agree with me. It's rare. It's time to live life a little lighter. Have some fun. Life's way too short. I went to a club for the first time in a long time. Laughed so hard. It felt so great. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Gina, I'll PM you right after the show. See if I can do that for you, okay? Alrighty then. So Maria says Jenny Kaiser has been trying to reach out to you, but I can't seem to get a message. Right. Well, Maria, bring her onto YouTube. That's the way to do it. Bring her onto YouTube, and she can come in that way. Okay. My goodness, we're already at 4 minutes to 10. We're coming to you live on 105.3 through to 107.7 FM, UPRN Talk Radio, coming to you live from the magnificent airwaves of New Orleans. Welcome everybody in the New Orleans state and surrounding districts. Wishing you a very pleasant day and an amazing Easter weekend. If you guys, so we were talking initially about what would be construed or what elements do you see as being the elements that make up a good psychic medium and the elements, of course, that make up a not so good psychic medium. So tell me what you think, tell me what you feel, and what kind of way does that work in your mind, heart, and soul? What do you expect when you go to sit in front of a psychic medium? What do you expect? You know. Maria says I've sent her the YouTube link. You don't even have to do that, Maria, my darling. You can just tell her to go on to YouTube and type in my name, Paul Francis Medium. Go into YouTube, in the search bar at the top, type Paul Francis Medium. Boom, it'll bring her straight to this show. Okay, Wendy says it's 7 a.m. in Australia. Do you know what? It's now 10 o'clock p.m. here in the UK, and I have been awake since 4:30 this morning. I woke up, just went bing like that, wide awake, and I could not go back to sleep. It was so annoying. Catherine says, yes, I agree, Paul. He comes less and less as I improve my life. And that's exactly what I was meaning. As I was by the sea yesterday, I thought about my dog Bailey, 17-year-old Jack Russell, who passed a year last November, unexpectedly. I filled up for a little bit, felt sadness in my heart, and the tears came. It's completely understandable. A black Labrador ran up to me in the water to get me to interact with him, which I did, until his owners called him back. Then he ran off, and then 5 minutes later he came back and stayed until he had lifted all the pain from my heart. Oh wow, how amazing is that? Animals do know. Animals are souls as well, and they do know when you're hurting. That's a good show to talk about our animal interaction, so we'll dedicate a show to that very, very shortly. Gina says I expect honest responses to what they pick up on, right? Yeah, I can completely concur with that. Any more? Can you elaborate on that? Julie says, when I'm meditating or just totally relaxed, protection makes sense, as I've been through a lot and I can't make sense of anything. Okay, Julie, don't worry. It happens a lot and happens to a lot of people. You're not in that boat by yourself, okay? For me, and if it feels right for you, now here's the thing. I'm not saying this is the word. If it feels right for you, if the golden cloak, the cloak of protection, is probably coming in to give you, kind of give you a break, to shield you from any issues, because what happens is when we start acknowledging all the things that are going wrong with our life, we get into a pattern, and that's what's referred to as a downward spiral. Now, the unfortunate side is once we're in that pattern, we give off an energy. Now we're contemplating, we're experiencing negative energy. So we then start giving off negative energy, and the law of attraction only pulls more negative energy towards you. So the law of attraction pulls all the stuff you really don't want to you. So I refer to it as a positive car and a negative car. Okay. When I'm teaching people, when I'm doing seminars, when I'm doing shows, and I'm doing theater shows and so on and so forth. See, I want my show, when I went to first start doing shows in theaters, I didn't want to be just another medium standing up there going, hey, I got your grandmother, hey, I got your grandfather, I got your brother, your sister. Yeah, that's an important part of it. But I wanted to, and I feel all good mediums should teach people how to understand how their friends and family are trying to connect. So it's the old concept: you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So basically, the whole idea being is, when I used to teach people, like I used to say to them, okay, do you remember your first car? And everybody goes, usually remembers the first car. Yeah. So what was it all about, your car? Do you remember getting in your car and driving? And everybody goes, oh yeah, do you remember driving now? And you're feeling great in your new car. Then you started noticing all the other cars that's the same as your car. So you've got your new car, you're driving the road, and you start noticing the other models and make that's the same as yours. Then you see one the same color as yours, and you're going, "Oh wow, there's one like mine." So that's you noticing and being connected to the same, the law of attraction. So it's the same. I always say when you're in the negative car, pull the negative car in, get out of it, walk across the road and get into the positive car and start driving that one and start drawing positive energy towards yourself. And you'll be surprised at how quickly that works and how quickly that helps. Give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. Can I bear? Okay, right. Let's have a look. I can't bear a fluffy medium. Oh, you are so. I'm exactly the same. I'm first and foremost, okay. Before I get myself in trouble, okay, which I do on a very common basis. I am open to learning. I don't dismiss anything on without first and foremost getting the information on board, digesting the information, researching said information, doing as much research as I possibly can before I go, yeah, I can accept that, or next. But I do come across when I used to do a lot of the mind, body, and spirit fairs. I don't really do them much anymore, to be honest. But when I used to do them, oh my god, I used to come across some flakes in my time, and you know what, they're lovely people in their hearts, but seriously, I'm best not go down that route because I will literally, you know, the yeah, no, I'll get myself in trouble. I'm not going to go down that route, but I do know exactly what you're talking about. I call it tree huggers and stuff like that. Now, there's nothing wrong. If you want to go out and hug a tree, hey, go knock yourself out. Enjoy. You can get the same energy and the same kind of feeling and the same kind of balance by just sitting at the base of the tree with your back against it. You don't have to hug it. It's your call, and I will not judge you. Some want to sugarcoat or disregard information. That's a really good point there, Gina. Some want to sugarcoat or disregard information. That's a bad medium. Okay. I even have gone so far as that if you've watched me in the past talking and I'm doing events and I'm doing shows and I'm working even on here, and you'll hear me go, it's not my information. Okay, and I'll stop myself thinking about it because I've trained myself not to evaluate the data. The data comes in and I deal with and I just deliver it. As John Edward taught me, he said, hey Paul, you're the mailman. Just deliver the mail. You're not here to read it. You just deliver it. So when the mail comes in, I just deliver the mail. Now, sugarcoating it is you putting your own personal perspective on the information, and that's not the case. You should not do that. And you should never disregard information because I'm going to show you two instances where I learned those lessons, both of those lessons. Okay, I'm going to share both those with you right now. Learn from my failure. Okay, I mean I learned from it myself. So to sugarcoat the information, one night I was doing a family group session. So I was in a house where all the family members came together. That's literally brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. It was a full family, and they all come together. And excuse me. And I remember coming towards the end of the first half because I always split the events into, I always have a break in the middle, give people a chance to just chill for a minute. And I was coming up towards the first break, and I heard my guides come in close, and I heard these other people come in close, and they started describing this lady to me. So I said, right, they want me to acknowledge a person, and I went blah 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 blah, and everybody went yeah like that. And next, okay, I want you all to listen to this, okay? Because I want you to just imagine your reaction. So I I described this person to them, and it was a person who was here in the earth plane. And the next information that I heard was this. It was, we're getting ready to receive her. And I went, what? And they said it again. We're getting ready to receive her. And I said I didn't turn around and just say, I'm not saying that. I just, in my mind, I went, there's absolutely no way I am saying that to these people. And as I got to that, there's absolutely no way I'm saying that to these people. I didn't even get the people out. My guide came in, went, Paul, it's not your information. So I went, oh my God. Right. I said, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to share this information with you. It's not my information. I have to give it to you. They want me to share it with you. Here's what it is. So the whole family are looking at me, and I went, they're getting ready to receive her. The entire family, okay, it was about 12, 14 people there, all went, oh, thank God. I was like, what? And what it was this lady had been ill for such a long time, and she'd been suffering for such a long time that the family just didn't want her suffering anymore. They could not see this wonderful lady go through this amount of pain and anguish any further. So when I told them that they were getting ready to receive her, to them, it was a merciful message. See, that's the sugarcoating. So I was looking at it from my perspective going, I am not saying that. The other one was disregarding information. This is really early in my career. And I still remember this to this day. I remember this young lady coming in, okay, and I was dealing with an energy which turned out to be her dad, okay. So literally, he showed me a Coke can. I was too cocky. I was too full of myself. I was too, pumped full of vanity. And look at me, aren't I great? I was too much of an idiot. And I went, I'm not talking about a Coke can. Okay, give me more information. So the reading went on, and every couple of minutes, boom, Coke can. And I was going, I'm not doing Coke can, more information. So I kept delivering the information. And the girl was looking at me and she was going, yeah, like that. And as we were coming to the end of the session, I said, look, okay, listen, this person who's claiming to be older than you, claiming you, I feel like a father, grandfather figure, but they keep talking about a Coke can. Oh my God, this girl just broke down, tears flooding. She was, oh my God. I mean, literally broke down. So I give her a few minutes to compose herself, got her some water, gave her some tissues, and I said, right, okay, I got to ask you, what do you mean? What's that all about? And she said, I had just lost my dad the day before. And I said, right. She goes, I put my can of Coke on top of my car, and as I went down to open the car, the Coke can moved. Now, if I hadn't been such a prat and told her from at the very moment that this guy showed me the Coke can, she would have got that immediately and enjoyed the session all the more. But I was too much full of myself. I was too much of an idiot back then. I mean, it's 30 odd years ago now, but and I should have literally disregarded me from the situation and just dealt with delivering the mail. So that's what sugaring the coat and disregarding information can do. It can really, really mess up a session. Don't do that. Maria says, a medium who's honest without bells and whistles is worth more than one who skips around and guesses, hits and misses with the fancy schmancy stuff. Fancy schmancy. Can psychics predict the future? I don't believe so. Okay, now, that being said, I find it difficult to take that on board. That does not mean that I'm right. I've had instances where people have walked into me. I remember walking into a church one night, and this lady came from the back of the church, came right up to me and hugged me. And I went, okay. And she said, thank you. You saved my son's life. And I'm looking at her going, I have no idea who you are, lady. And I said, I'm glad he's okay, but I don't know what you're talking about. She said to me, the last time you were in this church, you told me to tell my son not to go out in the car. And basically what happened was he didn't go out in the car. The car went out with his pals and they got into a road crash. Two of them ended up in hospital. And she claimed that I saved his life. But I don't claim that as being foretelling the future. I claim that as the energies on the other side of life looking out for their family and saying, don't do this. Okay. So, the thing about it is, we are all born with that wonderful gift of being able to make our own choices, freedom of choice. So, if I turn around and I say to you, Alison, listen, by the end of July, start of August, there's going to be a bit of a windfall. You're going to have some money coming into you. You're going to go, oh, wow. By the end of July and start of August, you're looking for this windfall. You're out there looking it. So you're attracting that energy. And guess what? You'll find it because you're looking so hard for it. And then you'll turn around and go, oh my God, he's the best thing to slice bread. All I did was put the seed in your mind. See what I mean? So I find that a very, very sticky area. So Faye says, the reading Roger and I received from you about a week ago. Oh, bless your hearts. I do remember that. The reading Roger and I received from you about a week ago truly impacted us in a big way. We were both stunned and truly moved, incredibly accurate and right to the point. That's very, very kind of you, darling. I was only too glad to help. It was kind of a healing event, I felt, because it was a couple of little band-aids there that needed just to finish off the healing. And, you guys deserve it. You guys deserve happiness, love, and above all, respect. And you will always get that from me. You can be assured of that. Okay. Well, it's 10:15, guys. I've got about 15 minutes left. Julie says, Paul, I walk away a lot now. Can't be doing with negative energy at all. Thank you so much. Makes a lot of sense. You're welcome, Jules. You're welcome now and always. You'll be welcome. There's a lot of stuff I've listened to in circle development, which is just so far off the mark. It's untrue. So absolute. Look, I mean, I don't ever do anything to try and make anybody feel bad. I don't like that. I don't like feeling bad, so I don't go out of my way to make other people feel bad. But when I see people teaching absolute crap, it annoys me. And there are some times when I bite my tongue, but there are some times when you just got to say no. That is so wrong. It's so not even close. And when I'm watching these shows where the ghost hunting, and I'm going, there's one at the minute. This guy called Ian, covered in tattoos, right? It's an English, and there's an Asian guy who does all the tech stuff. There's a blonde girl who does the historical, and there's this guy Ian. I feel myself getting mad now. He introduces himself as an ordained exorcist. That tells you everything right there. That tells you absolutely everything right there. An ordained exorcist. There is no such thing as an ordained exorcist. First of all, to be an exorcist, to be ordained, you have to be a priest. Okay, you have to be an ordained minister or priest, and then the church has to select you. You have to be of a very specific mental and a certain kind of person to become an exorcist within the church. They don't select just anybody to become an exorcist. So this guy's an idiot. And when Joanna's watching the show and I'm going, this guy's a complete frat. He's talking out his arse. She's going, go out. Oh my goodness. Marlene Bolton, welcome to the show, my love. You've come in right at the end. Mary Erickson, good evening, my darling. Welcome to the show. Trudy says, and she's still on Facebook, by the way, if you're picking up that someone had health issues, would you tell them without panicking them? Yes. Well, first and foremost, Trudy's one of my students. Many, many moons back, she was one of my students, and one of my best students as well, I might add. But excuse me, I've been drinking fizzy water there. First and foremost, like it's showing a yellow rose, and when I see the yellow rose, I know they want me to talk about health. Okay, then the rose, if you can imagine, the rose is like that. Then it moves up and down the body, like that. Yeah, Ian Longman, for Lynn, that's the one. The rose moves up and down the body, so it'll sort of hover around maybe the neck and shoulder. I'm just choosing the neck and shoulder for now. So I'll say, oh, they want me to acknowledge maybe you've got pain or stress in this area here. Okay, and they'll go, yeah. At this point, I will say, it's important that I'll only, if I'm getting the information to say, listen, just go and get that sorted, because I could never get anything other than I'll say, go and get that sorted. At this moment in time, they're making me feel that it's all fixable as long as you go and get it sorted. But if you leave it, it's going to get worse, and then it's going to get harder to fix. You understand? But remember, I am a psychic medium. I'm not a doctor. I will say that over and over and over. Psychic medium, not a doctor. Okay, I'm not qualified to, not even remotely qualified to diagnose any kind of illness. But please go and see a medical professional, and don't say the psychic told me to do it, because you'll have a whole set of issues you got to deal with. So I will never panic anybody. I've never had to give, touch wood, I've never had to give anything that's been so serious. I think the worst that I had to give was I get very strong lines running up and down the body, and I went, please go and make sure that your blood pressure or your blood sugar is sorted. And on a couple of occasions, the people went, and it saved them from having a stroke. So here you go. Alison says, are you available for as it happens, I am, Alison. I was supposed to be out of the country next week, and I'm not out of the country at all. And I'd cancelled everything for the week, so I'm not out of the country at all. So yes, I do I have some spaces next week for sessions. Yes, indeedy. Can't wait for some info on the Paraghost hunt. Yes, we'll be putting the Paraghost. Dawn, Trudy's there. Link up with Trudy. Find Trudy on Facebook, and Trudy's going to be literally working with me and putting the team together down here. But Trudy was in our team before, and we had such a ball. It's great fun. Alison says, you already have been a huge comfort to me as well. Thank you for all you do in communicating with us and for your time. Alison, that is so very kind of you to say. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for saying that. That makes me feel really good. I appreciate that. Emma Lorimer said, I would love to hear if I have any health problems going on. Well, Emma, like I was saying, if you feel you have, listen to yourself. I tell everybody to do this. Everybody. This is for all humanity across the world who comes to me. You are the best diagnosis of any illness in your body. You. Okay? If you feel that there's something amiss, trust your instincts and go and see a professional. Don't wait for a psychic. All right? Don't sit and wait for a psychic meeting to go, oh, by the way, I feel that you're not well. Duh. Go and see a professional. Go see your doctor and say to the doctor, give them the symptoms and work with a professional. Alrighty? Your health is the most important commodity you've got. Without your health, nothing. You can be a multi-billionaire. If you haven't got good health, all that money don't mean diddly. Alrighty? Health first. Health, family, love. Joe Hernandez says, how much are your sessions? Well, I charge, it depends on where you're from. The United States, I can give it to you in dollars, but just private message me and I'll sort that out for you, okay? Guys, I can't believe we're at the end of the show. 21 minutes past 10. I will be back Monday night. I keep thinking, because it's Easter Monday, will there be a show? But I think we will be, I think that, yes, there's going to be a show. So I'll be here at 8 p.m. UK time, Monday night. Ladies and gentlemen of the world, ladies and gentlemen of New Orleans and all the surrounding districts, especially if you're listening to me in 105.3 and 107.7 FM. I wish you all a fantastic weekend, a phenomenal, wonderful, happy Easter. Don't forget, right after my show tonight, we have Michelle and Amelia coming up with the Outer Realms and a complete slew of other great shows on the UPRN network. Have a look. Don't forget, it's important that you communicate, appreciate, and validate everybody in your life so a medium never has to do it for you. And by that I mean, tell the people in your life just how important they are so they understand. Alrighty? Take the time out every day just for yourself. Switch your cell phone off, your mobile phone off. Take the time out. Go sit by a river, go sit by the ocean, sit under a tree, and just breathe. I refer to that as the basic of life. Now, please, please, please make sure you're here on Monday, because I'm going to have some new information about the seminars and the dates for seminars, and I'll be sharing with you guys on Monday night. Enjoy your weekend. Let's get some fantastic pictures up on Facebook with you guys trying to eat an Easter egg without using your hands. That'd be fun. And if you live in the Southwest and you want to be a part of Paraghost, then give me a call, email me, message me, or message Trudy on Facebook, and we will be putting the Paraghost team together very shortly. Stay well, stay happy, try and meditate every day. You can do meditation in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It's up to you. You can actually just close your eyes, take half a dozen deep breaths, and every time you're letting it out, just fall deeper and deeper. Half a dozen breaths, you're meditating. Enjoy it. Thanks very much for supporting me. Thanks for being here. Please, please, please continue to share the show. Get out there, get people to come in and subscribe, and win yourself some free time with me. And win yourself maybe a hat, maybe a t-shirt, a lot of stuff we're going to give away. But enjoy this weekend to the absolute max. Until I see you again, be safe and have fun. That's what it's all about.